My sister slapped me at the airport when I refused to give her my first-class seat, so I had her removed from the flight. Hi, I'm Mason. I'm 33, and last Thursday, my sister slapped me at an airport gate in front of 50 strangers because I wouldn't give her my first-class seat to Hawaii. So I cancelled her entire trip, then exposed every lie she's ever told our parents. Buckle up. This one spirals fast. I've spent the last 11 years drilling oil wells in the armpits of Texas. Long days. Ugly weather. Not glamorous, but I'd pull 6 figures and live way below my means. Practical truck. Modest house. No Rolex, no BS. My 401k is my best friend. That's just who I am. My younger sister? Very different beast. Sophia's 29, a self-declared digital wellness coach, with 9,000 followers and a bio that says, Healing Energy Queen. She lives with our parents. Never paid rent. Works part-time at a home decor boutique and spends the rest of her life posting yoga reels from the backyard and tagging small brands in hopes of landing PR boxes. Our parents, Bill and Marie, are public school teachers, retired, underpaid, and absolutely wonderful. They're the kind of people who buy their shoes off clearance racks and split a Starbucks latte because it's just a treat. They've been married 40 years and they've never been anywhere tropical, despite dreaming about Hawaii since I was 10. So when I finished a brutal 6-month consulting contract last fall and got handed a fat bonus check, I didn't buy myself a jet ski or upgrade my truck. I booked my parents a dream vacation. A full week in Maui, beachfront hotel, convertible rental, snorkeling tours, sunrise at Haleakala, all of it. And yeah, I booked myself first class. I'm 6 feet 4 inches with linebacker shoulders and I wasn't about to fold into coach for 6 hours like origami. My parents got premium economy. They were thrilled. Here's where it went sideways. Sophia was not invited. This wasn't a family trip, it was a gift for our parents. But about 10 days before takeoff, she found out somehow, probably snooped through Mom's email, and started her campaign. First came the content ideas she'd found. Perfect spots for sunrise meditation shoots. And brand collabs that could happen on the island. Then came the emotional bait. You don't think I deserve a vacation too? You always exclude me. Family means everyone, Mason. I held firm. She wasn't part of this. It was a closed guest list. And then she played her ace. She burst into Sunday dinner, stood in front of our parents, and sobbed. Mason doesn't want me on the Hawaii trip because he thinks I'm an embarrassment. Which turned me instantly into the villain. Our mom started dabbing at her eyes with a napkin. Our dad just looked tired. I tried to explain that the trip was already planned and paid for, but it didn't matter. Sophia was in. Not because I invited her, but because saying no made me the problem. I told her she had to pay her own way: flight, meals, activities. She nodded sweetly and said, Of course. I'm an adult. The next morning, she texted me. Booked. Just a thumbs up emoji after. Should have known that was code for I haven't done squat yet. 2 days before departure, I get a 6 a.m. call. Flights are all screwed up, she says. Only seats left are row 35 and it's literally dark back there. I can't take good pictures in the dark. Can you just swap with me and I'll take first class? I reminded her again that she was supposed to book her own flight. That she added herself to this trip. And no, I wasn't trading the only comfortable seat on the plane so her Instagram could get better lighting. You're being toxic, she snapped. You always act like money makes you better. Like you own people because you pay for things. And then she hung up. I figured that was it. Maybe she'd sulk and fly coach. Maybe she'd fake an injury and cancel. Either way, I was done. I thought that was the peak of the drama. I hadn't seen anything yet. The morning of the flight, I pulled up to my parents' house at 4:45 a.m. sharp. They were already on the porch with their bags, dressed like tourists straight out of a brochure. Dad had on his pineapple shirt. Mom was wearing a new sundress with palm trees and had her hair braided like it was prom night. She looked like she'd practiced smiling in the mirror. It hit me right then: this trip wasn't just a getaway. It was a chapter they'd been waiting decades to write. We loaded up the truck, everyone in good spirits. No sign of Sophia. I didn't ask. Maybe she realized she'd pushed too far and backed out. Narrator voice, she did not back out. She met us at the airport drop-off like a hurricane in leggings. Hair a mess, dragging an overstuffed suitcase, face covered with the kind of chaotic contouring that screamed. I cried in the car. She stomped up like she just sprinted from a scandal. There you are, she barked. I've been texting you for an hour. I had, in fact, turned my phone on Do Not Disturb because I knew better. What's going on? I asked, already regretting it. We need to talk before security, she said. Privately. My dad gave me the look, the universal dad look that says please handle this so we don't miss our flight. So I stepped to the side with her, and she launched right in. I'm not sitting in row 35, she said, voice shaking. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. I have an audience that expects quality content. Bad airplane photos damage my credibility. I blinked. You're flying on a ticket you were never supposed to have. You booked your seat late. You're lucky you're even on the same flight. I'm not giving you my first-class seat. You're a man. You don't need the extra space. And don't act like you earned it more than me. We're both part of this family. I stared at her, the anger curling hot behind my ears. I spent $9,000 making this happen. For our parents. I didn't invite you. I didn't ask for drama. And I'm done playing emotional support goat just because you need better lighting for your next yoga boomerang. That's when she raised her voice. Loud enough that people nearby started to glance over. Wow. Okay. So your ego is more important than your sister. Got it. My mom stepped in, trying to keep the peace, suggesting maybe we ask about upgrades or standby. My dad asked if maybe I could compromise just this once. And there it was again, the pressure to make it all okay. But I didn't cave this time. No. My seat is mine. Sophia can sit in the back, or she can go home. The check-in agents were starting to watch us closely. The guy in line behind us was shaking his head like he just walked into a soap opera. Sophia's eyes started to glisten not with sadness, but with calculation. And that's when she whispered, just low enough for only me to hear. If you don't give me that seat, I swear to God I will make this flight a nightmare. I didn't respond. I just walked to security. She followed, silent now. We made it through TSA. I thought maybe she'd finally accepted reality. Then we got to the gate. And Sophia went nuclear. Gate 24C, Austin Bergstrom International. 6:37 a.m. We had about 30 minutes until boarding. My parents and I were sitting quietly, mom scrolling through restaurant reviews I'd sent her, dad reading a book about the Pacific Theater. Peaceful. Then I noticed Sophia pacing like a jungle cat in front of the window, tapping furiously on her phone. Not crying. Not panicking. Calculating. I didn't like that look. I stood to grab a coffee. Before I even reached the cart, she intercepted me with her arms crossed in a tone I hadn't heard since she tried to sue a yoga studio for trauma via per playlist vibes. We're not done. I sighed. We are. You're in, coach. End of story. No, she said, voice loud and clear. You're selfish. You say this trip is about mom and dad, but it's clearly about you flexing how much money you make now. Heads turned. People were watching. I could feel my neck start to burn. I didn't want a scene. She wanted a scene. Sophia, I warned. Drop it. You think your job makes you better than me. You think because you're tall and make 6 figures, you're entitled to everything. I glanced over. My parents were frozen. Mom had her hand over her mouth. Dad's jaw was tight. Around us, other passengers shifted awkwardly. A guy in a blazer leaned back with a gleam in his eye like this was better than Netflix. Last warning, I said low. Sit down. But she didn't. She took 2 steps forward. And then slapped me. Open palm. Across the face. Loud enough to echo. Gasps around us. My glasses tilted sideways. My cheek lit up like someone had held a match to it. A kid 3 rows away actually whispered. Whoa. I didn't react. I didn't touch my face. I just looked at her. Her hands were shaking now. Not from adrenaline, from realization. From the weight of what she'd just done. You could see it hit her in real time. This wasn't a tantrum. This was assault. A gate agent appeared almost instantly. Ma'am, you need to step back. Sophia started sputtering. He's being a jerk. He provoked me. He's trying to ruin my trip. Another gate agent called security. Within 60 seconds, 2 uniformed officers arrived. One stood between us. The other turned to me. Sir, are you okay? Yeah, I said calmly, still stunned. She just hit me. The officer nodded, then turned to Sophia. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with us. What? No! I have a flight. I can't, this is a family vacation. Not anymore. I muttered. My mom was crying now. My dad stood, tense and silent. Sophia looked back at them, pleading. Dad, please. Tell them this is just a misunderstanding. Mason's being dramatic. My dad didn't say a word. They escorted her out, still protesting. That's when the gate agent came back with a clipboard. We'll need to file an incident report, she said. Standard protocol. Are you interested in pressing charges? I looked over at my mom, mascara streaked, stunned. My dad's shoulders hunched, face unreadable. Then I looked at the stunned faces all around us. The strangers. The people she humiliated me in front of. I took a deep breath. Yes, I said. I'm pressing charges. They say the airport is one of the few places where society still kind of works, where rules mean something. Where consequences are swift. And Sophia had just found that out the hard way. As they walked her out red-faced, babbling, crying now for real, she tried one last Hail Mary. You're ruining my life! She shrieked at me. Over a seat! I didn't flinch. The moment she was gone, the entire gate area felt like it exhaled. A gate agent apologized to my mom like she was the one assaulted. The man in the suit who'd been watching nodded at me. Another guy handed me a small sealed bottle of water. Like I'd just finished a boxing match. My dad finally spoke. Well, that escalated. Mom burst into fresh tears. I can't believe she did that. To you. In front of everyone. She looked like she wanted to crawl inside her purse. We should all stay, she said suddenly. We can't just leave her behind. She's probably terrified. What if they arrest her? What if she ends up in jail? She's in an airport security office, Mom, I said gently but firmly. She's not being dragged to Guantanamo. And she assaulted me. In public. But she's your sister. No, my dad said quietly. She crossed the line. And she needs to live with it. My jaw nearly hit the floor. Dad? Dad said that? He put a hand on Mom's shoulder. We're getting on this plane. I could see it hit her all at once that years of covering for Sophia had finally tipped into enabling. She didn't argue again. Just dabbed at her eyes and nodded slowly. Boarding began. First class was called first. I stood up. For a second I felt guilty. Like maybe I should have handled it differently. Like maybe I could have avoided all of this if I'd just given her the seat. But then I remembered the look on her face right before she hit me, the absolute belief that she deserved to be the center of everything. That if you said no to her, you owed her a better reason. So no, I didn't feel guilty for standing my ground. I felt relieved. We boarded. I slid into my wide, blissfully quiet seat. The attendant brought me a warm towel and a mimosa. I caught a glimpse of Mom and Dad walking back to premium economy. She still looked shaken. Dad was talking quietly, holding her hand. I turned my phone back on. Big mistake. Sophia had texted me 14 times already. You did this. I hope you're proud of yourself. Mom is crying. They're going to press charges, you psychopath. I was trying to build a career. You humiliated me. You ruined me. I turned the phone off again. The flight was smooth. The view was unreal. And somewhere over the Pacific, watching the clouds stretch like mountains under the wing, I decided. I was done being the reasonable one. We touched down in Maui just before noon. 80 degrees, soft breeze, and the kind of sky that makes you believe in vacation postcards. At baggage claim, my mom finally smiled. Not a full smile, more like a test drive. She clutched her sun hat like it was a lifeline. Dad looked tired, but not tense. His shoulders were down, his voice easy. For the first time since I'd booked this trip, it felt like maybe they could actually enjoy it. We picked up the rental car, a sleek convertible I'd splurged on because I knew Dad always wanted to drive one. I handed him the keys. You sure? He asked. Absolutely. The man giggled. Giggled, I kid you not. Like a teenager who just found out his crush likes him back. We drove the coast, top down, breeze in our faces. No one mentioned Sophia. The silence was warm this time, not heavy. Just us. Just peace. The hotel check-in went smoothly. Ocean views. Cold guava juice at reception. I'd requested lays for them on arrival. Mom actually gasped when the front desk agent draped hers over her shoulders. This is too much, she whispered, but she didn't take it off. She wore it like armor. The concierge handed us room keys. 3 of them. Wait, Mom said. What about Sophia's room? I looked at her. There is no Sophia's room. But she didn't pay. She didn't book anything. I gave her the info weeks ago. She said she'd handle it. And then I said it, calmly, no anger, just fact. She didn't come on this trip. She tried to hijack it. And she hit me when she didn't get her way. Mom didn't respond. Just stared at the key in her hand. That night, we had dinner at a little open-air restaurant overlooking the beach. Fresh fish, pineapple everything, coconut rice, and a sunset so bright it felt fake. And that's when the text started again. This time to Mom. I didn't even have to ask, she tilted her phone so I could see the screen. I know you're mad. But can you just tell Mason to drop the charges? Please. I panicked. I messed up. But this is going to ruin my life. I could lose brand partnerships. What if I can't fly anymore? What if I go to jail? You guys just left me. I'm your daughter. He's being cruel. Mom looked up at me. Maybe when we get back. No. Mason. No, Mom. She hit me. Not in private. In front of strangers. She weaponized this family dynamic like she always has and expected me to suck it up. She's scared. She's scared because for the first time, her actions have consequences. Dad didn't say much. Just took a bite of fish and said, "This is excellent. Try the mango chutney." I laughed. Loud. It broke the tension. For a second, it felt normal again. And you know what? That night, they both slept better than they had in months. I know because I called the front desk in the morning and asked, "Are your guests in room 510 doing okay?" The clerk laughed. "They're great. Just asked for beach towels and directions to the farmer's market." And me? I went snorkeling. Saw sea turtles. Didn't think about Sophia once. Until day 3. When she tried to blow it all up. Day 3 in paradise. The sun was high, the water crystal clear, and Mom had finally stopped checking her phone every 5 minutes. That morning we drove the Hannah Highway, 62 miles of winding cliffside roads, waterfalls, jungle canopies, and occasional moments where Mom gripped the car door like it might fly open. Dad insisted on narrating every scenic overlook like he was hosting a PBS travel documentary. He was in heaven. By the time we reached the black sand beach at Wainapanapa, Mom actually kicked off her sandals and ran into the surf. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. 4 missed calls. 1 voicemail. And a very professional-sounding text. "Mr. Carter, this is Officer Melendez with the APD. We're reaching out to follow up regarding the airport incident involving your sister. Please call at your earliest convenience." I froze. My dad, noticing, lowered his camera. "Something wrong? I need to make a call," I said, stepping toward the parking lot. I called back. The officer was calm, polite, direct. "Your sister attempted to file a counterclaim," he said, "alleging you instigated the altercation and created a hostile environment." I blinked. "She what?" He sighed like this wasn't his first rodeo. "She claimed verbal abuse, financial coercion, and emotional manipulation. Also said you've been using your financial status to control your parents and isolate her. She tried to hijack a vacation I paid for, assaulted me when I wouldn't give her my seat, and is now accusing me of abuse." "We reviewed the security footage," he said. "Her story doesn't hold water. The airline filed their own report. We're recommending the DA proceed with the original charge, simple assault. And the flight ban? Still in place. It's possible she'll be added to a broader no-fly list depending on the plea outcome." I thanked him, hung up, and stared out at the waves. Then my phone buzzed again. It was a text from Sophia. She must have gotten the case update. "You are destroying me. This is my career. This is my life. I hope you enjoy Hawaii while I'm here, suicidal and alone." Classic. Emotional blackmail, guilt, and victimhood, her trifecta. But then came the kicker. I told Mom everything. "If you don't fix this, I will go public. I'll tell people you assaulted me. That you threatened me. That you've always been violent." I laughed. Out loud. Which must have looked insane to the older couple walking past me with pineapple ice cream. Because this time? I had something she didn't. Evidence. I walked back to my parents, calm as glass. Handed my phone to Dad. He read it. His face turned gray. Threatening to fake abuse. He murmured. What the hell happened to her? I don't know, I said. But I'm not protecting her anymore. That night, back at the hotel, I emailed the airport security office. Attached the video footage they'd sent me. Copied in the airline's security team. And then I did it. I posted the footage. No caption. Just, this is what happened. No filters. No edits. No lies. By morning, Sophia's carefully curated narrative was already falling apart. The internet doesn't wait for apologies. I woke up to 213 notifications. Sophia's slap caught on crystal clear security footage was making the rounds. It wasn't trending, but it was moving. Her tearful Instagram posts about family betrayal suddenly had comment sections full of links to the actual footage. People who'd blindly supported her. Now demanding answers. Wait, you hit your brother because he wouldn't give you a first-class seat? Sis, you said he yelled at you? He was literally silent the whole time. This is why people don't believe influencers anymore. Her follower count dropped by over 1,000 in the first 4 hours. By noon, boutique brands she tagged in old posts were untagging themselves. One issued a vague, "We do not condone violence" statement. Her part-time job at the home decor store? Gone by 3 p.m. The owner sent her a curt email saying it was no longer a good fit. That evening, my phone rang. Mom. She didn't even say hello. Just, "You posted the video?" "Yes." A pause. "She's devastated." "Mom, she punched me in public and then tried to frame me." "She didn't punch." "Sorry, slapped." "Much classier." Another pause. "You humiliated her." "No. She humiliated herself." "I just hit upload." "She's getting death threats now." "Then she should probably log off." "You don't understand, this is her whole world." I was pacing the balcony now, looking out over the beach. My voice dropped. "You ever stop to ask about my world, Mom? You ever wonder what it's like being the one who pays for everything? Plans everything? Absorbs every tantrum because that's just how Sophia is?" Silence. She got away with everything for years because we all let her. Now she's finally being held accountable, and you're worried about her feelings instead of the damage she's done. "I'm not choosing sides," she whispered. "You've always chosen sides," I said. "You just never said it out loud." She didn't argue. Just said, "Let me know if you want dinner later." And hung up. Later that night, my dad knocked on my door. "We're not mad," he said, hands in his pockets. "We're just sad." "I didn't want it to go public," I said. "But she threatened to lie about me. Again. After assaulting me." He nodded slowly. "You did the right thing, son." It was the first time he'd said that to me in years. We didn't talk more. Just sat on the balcony and listened to the waves. That night, Sophia deleted her Instagram. And for the first time since college, I slept like a rock. We spent our last full day on the island like it was the first, quiet, beautiful, free. My parents woke early and walked the beach hand in hand. I found them laughing over iced coffee and banana pancakes, like the chaos that brought us here was a different timeline. For the first time in years, they weren't tired or tiptoeing around someone else's feelings. They were just two people who had finally been given room to breathe. Back at the hotel, Mom sat beside me by the pool. She didn't apologize, not in the traditional way. But after a long silence, she said, "We've protected her for so long we forgot you might have needed protecting too." That was enough. At the airport, Dad hugged me tighter than usual and said, "Thank you. Not just for the trip. For making us see it." The flight home was quiet. Peaceful. No drama. No panic texts. No crisis waiting on the other end. Sophia? Still silent. Her socials wiped clean, her job gone, her brand unraveling. The assault charge stuck, reduced to a misdemeanor, but still on her record. 1 year probation, 30 hours of community service, and an official flag on airline databases that would make her next trip a nightmare. I didn't feel vengeful. I felt done. 2 weeks later, I got a postcard in the mail. No return address. Just one sentence. Maybe I needed this more than I knew. I stared at it for a long time. Didn't forgive her. Didn't hate her either. Just pinned it to my fridge, next to the photo of my parents on the beach, smiling like nothing had ever gone wrong. And maybe for the first time it hadn't. And maybe for the first time it hadn't. A month passed. Then, too, Sophia stayed quiet. Mom stopped making excuses. Dad started forwarding me articles on hiking trails and asking if we should plan another trip, just the three of us again, maybe the Rockies this time. I said yes. Not out of guilt, not to patch anything up, but because it felt right. Because peace, once earned, is worth keeping. And because some stories don't need to be retold. Just left behind.